Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection show is on the air. We're at PACT-TV Studios in City Hall in Duluth, Minnesota. It's a chilly little day, but boy, a lot of hockey. And Happy New Year's to all the hockey fans. And I hope your holidays were great. But to start off, boy, Christmas week I went to over 20 high school games down in the Twin Cities. Every day I was going to about 5, 6 games from early morning to late at night. And I saw all the top teams, most of them 3 times, a lot of the top teams in the top 10. So I got a good look at these teams and where they belong in the rankings and what I see in the future. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the Class AA. I saw Minnetonka 3 times in that time, and they're still my number one team. They got 9 D1s that I know of, and I see a couple that could possibly be D1, so they can get up to 10, 11. But right now, I know they have 9. But Wayzata and Tonka were the Friday after Christmas played each other. And I tell you what, you couldn't get into the arena. The fire marshal stopped people from coming in to buying tickets and that. It was like sardines. But what a game. It ended up 1-1. Wayzata's my number 2 team. But if you don't stretch Tonka out, you're not going to have a chance because this team can score. And on power plays, they're over 50%, so you got to stay out of the box. But Wayzata has a very good team-oriented players, and they move the puck out of the defensive zone right away. They don't spend 1 second. They just move that puck out, and then they stretch the ice by getting pucks deep, and they did that all game long. And a lot of these Tonka players aren't used to playing 200 feet, and that helped them a lot. And the game ended up 1-1. And the shots were pretty even too, so I was kind of surprised on that. But still, it was a great game for hockey fans. And if you had a chance to watch it, you can go back on some streaming. They keep them so you can still stream past games. But these are my 2 top teams, and either one of them has not lost a game this year. Minnetonka, the number 1 team, is 12-0-1. And Wayzata is 12-0-2. Edina's my 3rd place team in the rankings in Class AA, and they lost to St. Thomas Academy. And St. Thomas Academy, Mike Randolph's the coach there, the former Duluth East coach. And he's doing a heck of a job because he's won about 6, 7 in a row now. And that was a big game. And Mike likes to do little defensive things and kind of crowd up the neutral zone, so it's hard to get through. And so they beat Edina during Christmas week, and then I was down there last Thursday, and they beat Benil, and it was a really good hockey game. And Benil's a very good team too. But Edina, I still have at 11-2, and with their coaching and with the young kids they have, they're just going to get better by the end of the year themselves. Number 4, Chanhassen. They just played Duluth East, and I think it was 6-0. I was at the game, and they got their top skater back, Eulenkamp, and he got a couple goals in that game. And this team is very talented. They'll have 5 D1s on this team, and it's kind of funny. 4 of Minnetonka players came from the Chaska, Chanhassen area. So that's why Chanhassen, which is in the same section as Minnetonka, there's a good chance they can play for the section finals again. And the reason they play so close together is the competition. They grew up with all these kids, and they see each other all the time, and So it's a very competitive group on both sides, and it turns out to be one of the best hockey games. But not playing at Mariucci in sections, I don't know. It's going to be a hard ticket. You got to know someone almost. So Chanhassen's number 4 at 11-4 record. They started out the first 2 games. They didn't look that good to me, but they came on. Then they had that injury. But I like this team. So Chanhassen number 4, 11-4. Number 5 is Maple Grove. Maple Grove is 9-3. But what I like about this team is that they're just team players. There's really no elite players on this team. They just play good as a team. They don't panic when they get behind or have a bad period. And they'll always outplay you 2 periods out of 3. So I like this team a lot, where I think they can upset someone and if they can get to state. So number 5, Maple Grove, 9-3. And this is a team that really moved up. Coach Randolph just got his 700th victory. And he's number 3 on the list of all time. But you got to remember, Mike's teams have always played a tough schedules, where the 2 coaches, taking nothing against them, but Lauren Grosso, Rochester Male, he's the leader with 707, and then Roy Nystrom, 705. And both of them are Evelyn boys, but they did most of their coaching down south, like in Rochester and Albert Lee. And so they played a lot of teams that they can beat by 10 goals over their time. So Mike Randolph, 700, so he's only 7 away from tying the state high school coaching record. And so hats off to Coach Randolph in his career in coaching, and maybe we'll see him this year as the leader of all time. So go Cadets. Okay, number 7 is Benil. Benil lost 3 key players, one to the North American development team over in Ann Arbor, Phillips, and then they lost couple kids to juniors. So, and one kid moved down to Edina Ristol, one of their better forwards. So I thought they wouldn't be as good as they are, but they're well coached and they got a lot of nice young players I like. So 9-3-1, Benil number 7. Andover, one week they don't look that good, the next week, but this last week they played pretty good hockey and they're back in the top 10. They're 9-5. They're in Section 7, so they'll be going against Grand Rapids, Duluth East, Duluth, Denfield, Rockridge. So a lot of northern schools. And really, it's wide open. If you get a hot goalie, you can beat this team. So, hey, it's going to be wide open in Section 7 AA. And then number 9, Rosemont, 10-4. They had a hard time Christmas week, but this is a very good team. And they're in the St. Thomas, Cretin, and Eastview section. So probably they got 4 really good teams in that section that can get to state. So that's going to be interesting at the end of the year, too. And then number 10, I have Rogers, 8-4-2. Kind of disappointed in this team. They got probably the best junior class on their team. There'll be 5 D1 juniors that'll be committed by the end of by next year they'll be committed to D1 college teams. So, but they didn't play good. They got their butts clean in Christmas week. They lost to Tonka, Wazetta, and then Lakeville South. So, but we'll see if this team can pick it up and get it together again. But they're 8-4-2. This is a very talented team, so I hope they can get it back together. And then teams to watch: Centennial, Cretin-Durham Hall, Eastview, Hill Murray, Holy Angels. Holy Angels hasn't been in the top 10 since Coach Greg Treble. He used to coach the Bantam AA team in Jefferson when those teams, those kids went up to Jefferson High School and they won the state tournament 3 years in a row in the early 90s. Then he went over to Holy Angels and he won a state tournament there. I think he won a couple. And he passed about a few years back. He had some cancer and he was a very good coach. And this team is very young. And I think by next year, they can be in the top 10 for sure. And so I'm looking forward to watching this team. So Holy Angels, keep a watch on this team. And then another private school, Catholic school, Holy Family. They're out on the west side, and they're playing real good hockey. So that's another one teams to watch. Lakeville South, Roseville. Roseville has a player that's probably, he might make to Mr. Hockey top 10 players, and Noah Ernest. But the problem I have with this team now, because they're so far north, they don't really play that many competitive teams for them. They have to come down to the cities, and that's just not going to happen that often. But Roseville is another team. So they're in the Moorhead section. And then down on the east side, we got Stillwater and White Bear Lake as the other two teams to watch. Going back to Centennial, there's a kid, Harper Searles, that plays for them. He was playing before the season started up in Cloquet at the Wilderness, Minnesota Wilderness, and North American Hockey League, Junior Tier 2 League. And he was playing real well. I mean, and they wanted to keep him, but he wanted to go back and play with his friends in high school, and I applaud him for that. But a game against Coon Rapids. Coon Rapids is a lot better team. They're not a top 10 team or a top 15 team, but they're a lot better than they have been. And their record, I think, is 8-4-1. They beat them 9-1, but Harper Searles he scored 3 goals and 6 assists, so 9 points. So he was on in every goal. And I don't know if that ever happened in high school hockey. 9 points in one game. So I'd like to find that out. But this is not playing a team that you're going to beat 20 or 30. This is a team that, you don't know which way it's going to go in the game. But they had their game of a lifetime for him, Harper. So congratulations to him. Let's see what we got. Okay, we'll just go with our local teams here, high school teams. I'm going to start with Duluth East. Yeah, a lot of people are disappointed. They have some young D and two that have, they have a little experience, but not much. So the D is probably their Achilles heel. And they're 3-10-1. And they go to Brainerd this week, and then Saturday they play the number 1 team, Minnetonka, at 3 p.m. at the Duluth Heritage Sports Center. And that's 3 o'clock. So if you want to see the top team and some of the top high school players, go watch that game. Or you can go up to Hermantown on next Saturday at 4 p.m., where my rankings, number 1 team, Roar Road's coming down to play the number 2 team, Hermantown, at 4 p.m. up at Hermantown. Hermantown's 9-2-2, and they play St. Cloud Cathedral at St. Cloud Cathedral on Thursday. So they go out there. And St. Cloud Cathedral is, where do I have them? They're number 4. So 1's playing 2, and then 2's playing 4 this week. So Hermantown has a tough week. And then we got Proctor, which is having a very good season. They're 11-5. They play Little Falls at 3 p.m. on Saturday. So a lot of good teams and a lot of good games up in the Twin Ports area this weekend. And then Duluth Marshall has Cloquet on Thursday, and then they have Northern Lakes, a top 10 team in Class A, at 7 p.m. Saturday. And Cloquet, 8-6. They are at Duluth Marshall Thursday at 7 p.m. And then Coon Rapids, 3 p.m. Saturday. And then the only other left team, Duluth Denfield, 8-4-1. But they play at Cambridge on Tuesday, and then they play Little Falls on Friday. So, let me see. A lot of good games up in Twin Ports this weekend. So I'd get out and see some high school hockey. Let's see. Oh, another news about Duluth Denfield. This is sad news. Their best player, John Scott, broke his hand, so he might be out probably a month for sure. Who knows, but it might be more. So that's going to hurt Denfield right now, and I hope they can hang in there until he gets back. So good luck to John Scott in his recovery. So there you go with the Twin Ports teams. Let's talk about little hockey that's happened the last couple of weeks. The USA team won the gold medal in the U20 World Juniors. They beat Sweden, and it's kind of funny. Howard for the USA team, who was a player for UMD Bulldogs last year, but transferred to Michigan State, got two goals in that winning game, gold medal game, and he had the most goals of any player in the tournament. He had 7 goals. So I can see why UMD's missing this player, Howard. He was a first-round draft pick toward the end of the first round with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, and I already said Mike Randolph is got 700 wins, and he only needs 8 more wins to be the top coach with wins this year for his career. And then I was at the Gopher game. They lost to Colorado College, but it was a very entertaining game, and the Gophers really got it going the second half of the game. But they got 4 players from the World Juniors that played in the World Juniors over in Sweden, and that game was on Friday, and somehow they got back and they dressed for this Sunday game. You'd think they'd be pretty tired playing all those games and traveling like that, but good for them to be back, and they all look good. So let's see. Oh, I was at the Winnipeg about a week ago. The Winnipeg game, they played a home and home, and they lost both, but the Wild are going through a lot of injuries. I mean, they got defensemen, 3 of them out, Spurgeon. They got Brodeen, Hunt on defense. They got their goalie, Gustafson, who's usually the number 1 goalie. What else? Who else is out? Oh, Kaprizov, forward. Zuccarello was out for a while. Hartman was out. They've had a lot of injuries. They got 7 or 8 key players that have been out at one time, and they found a way to win without them on Saturday in overtime game. So good for them. But the Winnipeg game a week ago, former Duluth East player Dom Toninato got called up about 3 games before this, so it was off 2 games before that, because he got an assist his first 2 games. He's on the 4th line, and then he gets the winning goal against the Wild, and since the next 3 games, he's got 2 more assists. He's on the 4th line, and 4th liners aren't going to get too many points, so good for him for staying with it, and he's back playing, and they're going to keep him there for sure if he's scoring points like that on a 4th line and doing everything they ask of him. And the nice thing about it, instead of getting $1,000 a game, he's getting $10,000 a game, pretty close to that. So Dom Toninato gets the winning goal against the Wild. It's kind of funny how Minnesota kids come back and beat the team that they want to play for. Just like in college, I've seen it a million times where someone will come play the Gophers or UMD, and it's a Minnesota kid that gets a winning goal or something like that. So good for all those Minnesota high school kids. I got some more news. A lot of you know Jeff Stark locally. He spent many years in operations of the AMSOIL and the deck, and he was let go in his job, I guess finance problems or something. So, but it's kind of funny in my opinion, they had to bring in 6 more people because he did everything. He is a jack of all trades. He was solving all the problems at the AMSOIL arena, but he was let go, and a lot of people didn't like it. But stuff like this happens in life. But he just got a new job. I knew he would anyhow because everyone knows him and knows how good he is and his work ethics and smartness. But he's going to be working as head of the Duluth Heritage, Essential Health Duluth Heritage Sports Center Foundation. So he'll be working with Pat Francisco, and I'll get him on the show. I'll let him work his job for a couple months, so bring him on and talk about what he's doing for the Duluth Heritage Sports Center Foundation. And I'm sure there's a lot to talk about and what he's actually doing for that foundation. So there you go. Jeff Stark, congratulations on your new job. In high school hockey, is talking about the top teams. Well, you can tell why Minnetonka is number 1. Their power play is 52.2%. I haven't seen a 50% power play in high school in a long time. Duluth East, when they had the 5D1s on that starting lineup, when Jake Randolph, Dom Toninato, Trevor Olson, Mears Moore, and oh man, I can't think of the other D, but they had pretty close to 50%. Their PK is 78.8, but Chanhassen, their power play is 30%, which is very good. Anything over 25% is very good. And but their penalty kill is 96%. That is amazing. So 52% power play for Minnetonka and the 96 penalty kill for Chanhassen. And like I said, I think these two teams are going to meet up again for the section finals in section 2AA. So let's see here. Yeah, we got about five, 6 teams that are over 85% penalty kill. Benil, St. Thomas Academy, Maple Grove, Chanhassen, Edina, and Rosetta. They're all 85% or higher. So that's very good. And then on power plays, let's see how many are over 25%. We got Rogers at 30%. Andover, 29%, Benil, 27%, Chanhassen, 30%, and then Wayzata, 25%, and Tonka, 52%. So very good numbers in high school hockey. Okay, let's see what we got going with some of these teams now in standings. The Wild have 38 points. They're in, let's see, 7th place. They got to get in the top 3, and they're 38. They're 11 points out of a playoff team, and so their only chance right now, looking at 11 points, now it's a lot, is to make the wild card team. So the top 3 teams in each division make it to the playoffs, and then 2 wild card teams. And so let's see, they're only, one, two, yeah, really, they're only 4 points out from a wild card, but they got to pick it up for sure. And it's amazing. Top 7 teams are 500 or above on the Central Division. In the Pacific, they got 5 teams. So it looks like the Western Division is a little stronger than the Eastern for overall with all the teams. But leading the Central is the Winnipeg Jets and Colorado Avalanche. I've always liked the Colorado Avalanche with McKinnon, one of my favorite players in hockey right now. And then the Dallas Stars, who are playing this Monday, where the show is being produced now. They're playing. They're coming up and playing the Wild tonight, Monday, the 8th of January here. So, and they got the Minnesota goalie. He's been a hot commodity for them, Jake Ottinger. So I'll be running down to that game. So I'll be taking a few notes. And then over on the other side, it's kind of a surprise, the Vancouver Canucks. They're top in the Pacific, 53, and they got a Minnesota kid that's getting that puck in the net, Brock Besser. I love that kid. I used to watch him in high school at Burnsville. So, and the Golden Knights are right behind them, 51, the last year's Stanley Cup champions. So there you go. The only thing left is the UMD. They got to pick it up too. UMD has to start winning a lot. Otherwise, they're going on the road in the playoffs. And if they don't win that playoff round, they get down to St. Paul for the Frozen Face-Off. Because I think the way it's going for them, they might have to win the Frozen Face-Off to get to the regions. So let's hope they can get it going. And usually Scott figures a way and get the team play as a team. And they play Colorado College this weekend, which is Colorado College looked pretty good against the Gophers. They beat them last night 6-4, and so I bet they'll stay in the state for the whole week and come up to Duluth and that early. And they play Friday and Saturday night at the Emsoil. So Colorado College this weekend, and then over in Big Ten, Minnesota's in pairwise. They're number 14. There's no team in the pairwise in the top 16 in the CCHA, but Bemidji State leads the league with 25 points, and St. Thomas is second. That's kind of a surprise. They're kind of the new kid in town, new team, and they're getting a lot of recruits out of Minnesota. So there you have it. A lot of information, a lot of hockey, and I want to thank the staff at PACT-TV Studios who produced the show, Liz and Jim. And I'll tell you what, get out to the rink. There's a lot of big games in high school this weekend. So get out to the rink. See you at the rink myself. Bye.